Right, tonight on the recorded version, because that's what you're watching this on, it's very much about live participation. So you're going to be getting what you're given, I'm afraid, if you're watching this on recorded, because tonight is about people on live telling me what they want, so it's put me on the spot. So the beauty of it is, if you're watching the recorded, I've managed to take out the bits that I didn't know what to say to what I was being asked. So we're going to start. Victoria, for the sake of the recording, would you like to repeat what you requested there? But please, pick one that's the worst for now instead of giving me a full list.
Okay, calves, back and shoulders.
Pick one, so she picks them all. Right, okay. Okay, everybody, we'll start with calves, okay? Don't be greedy, Victoria. There's other people here too, you know, they're all itching to speak. I can see them all sitting there with their hands hovering over the mute button. So we're going to start with calves, okay? Now, because we're not turning this into a target mobility class, this is going to be 2 minutes each side, so there is no scope for farting about. So without further ado, I'm going to get my foam roller. I'm going to position it either place. I'm going to start at the top, just below the knee joint, or I'm going to start just above the ankle joint. This is your 2 minutes on each side, okay? So what I want you to do, again, this is new to Thursday night on live, so I will talk you through a bit more in depth. Those of you familiar with the mobility work, crack on. So everybody else, you're getting on your foam roller, and all I want you to do is just side to side, the entire length of your calf muscle. Now I'm going fast. I want you to go fast too, because we're only doing 2 minutes. Find a bit of pain, okay? I want you to focus on an area of high pain. So I'm going side to side. Oh, there's a wee bit of pain there. That feels pretty nasty. Down there's a wee bit of pain, but back up here felt horrific. Okay, so now I've found that area of pain. So now I'm just going side to side, just to make sure, and then a wee bit up and down as well, just to make, oh dear. That's a pretty nasty one. I didn't know that was hanging about in there. So I've found an area of pretty disgusting pain, okay? So now what I'm trying to do is just make sure I'm on the dead center of it. Now don't be fooled, it looks like I'm chilling out here. This is awful. I'm trying my best to keep a straight face, and you're going to start seeing the sweat running down my face in an effort of doing so. So I'm pushing down into this. The first technique we use when we're using the foam roller, once we've found that pain and discomfort and we've isolated it to ground zero, if you like, of where it's the worst, I start to introduce the weight and pressure on that foam roller. Now, this calf muscle is relaxed. That's the most important thing I'll say about any of this when we're doing it. If you're doing it and it's so sore and it's all tense, you're not getting the purpose of it. So while I'm trying to introduce more weight and more pressure, okay, it might be nasty, and this is nasty. Don't know where this one came from. Oh, right, okay, so you can see I'm rocking up and down, side to side, but I'm doing it in such an isolated area, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm trying to break up and encourage breaking up that tied up muscle tissue, okay? But I'm not moving off of the painful spot. Now I want you to try and relax, okay? Yes, my face is screwed up now and again, but I try to keep it relaxed for the most part, okay? And I want you to do the same. You need to make sure, everybody, that muscle is relaxed, okay? And as I'm getting more and more weight down on this, it's getting worse and worse, but I'm able to deal with it. I'm able to do it in a relaxed state. That's why we can't just go straight on, leg on top, boom, pushing down on it, because it won't be relaxed. You'll find that you're fighting it because the pain is too high. Depending on, you know, I won't lie, didn't even know this was hiding in here. This is awful, okay? So I can't quite deal with putting that leg on top yet, because when you put that leg on top, even just resting that leg on top, you don't realise it because you've been hauling your leg around all your life, okay? You're used to that. But that leg weighs a fair bit of weight. So if you just put that dead weighted leg on top, okay, we're going to get a lot more weight in that problem area. Now, I say 2 minutes is a very loose 2 minutes. You know how I operate. So time is not of the essence ever. So side to side, up and down. I've spent a bit of time on that now. So now I'm going to introduce some new techniques, okay? Or familiar techniques, should I say. Contract, relax. So you contract the calf muscle as hard as you can, and then relax. Contract, relax. Now, how do you tense up your calf muscle? Only you can answer that question, okay? One thing I would say to you, if you're struggling to isolate, as in you're tensing up the whole leg, then so be it, but as long as you're tensing up that calf muscle, but if you're struggling to isolate it, I want you to imagine that you're pushing your toes against the wall, and you should hopefully work out that one, okay? It's like anything. I say it all the time, you have to work out the motor skills, you have to work out the muscle-brain connection to get your calf to contract. You might have to play around and practice with that. So contract and relax, that's helping just break it up all the more. Don't ease off, I'm continually trying to put more pressure on here. We're nearly finished. The last thing we're going to do, and you can see I'm still rocking side to side, up and down, but I can't say it enough, okay? I'm doing it on that target area of pain. I'm not doing the entire length of the calf muscle. I'm trying to get an improvement on one area before I even think about moving to the next. In 2 minutes, you've got enough time to focus on one problem area. You don't have time to do the entire length of the calf muscle. So now, I'm going to start pushing down hard, keeping that muscle relaxed, and I'm going to start just lifting my toes towards me, pushing them away, making rotations. Okay, the point being is, there's no right or wrong. So this is what we now call smashing and flossing, okay? So we're pinning that knotted up area down, crushing it between our bone and the foam roller, and we're just helping grind it between the two. Sounds horrible, it is horrible, I'm sure you'll feel it. Okay, but by moving that foot around, we're helping and shortening and lengthening the muscles, okay? So it's just another technique to help break it up. Now, I want you to change legs. So, it's simple, I'm talking you through it, I'm firing a lot of words your way, okay? But I want you to understand, so this is me, I've changed legs. I don't necessarily go into the same area, okay? So I just want you, again, have a wee kind of, like I've always said when we're doing the mobility classes, what you're doing here is just a very broad, quick scan and search of the area, okay? Identifying areas of pain. Once you've done the entire length very quickly, which is what I've done now, okay, there's a bit of pain I found earlier, so I'm going to get stuck into it. Now I'm just doing a bit of side to side, up and down, to try and find the bang on centre of where that pain's the worst, that pain and discomfort feels the worst. Okay, so that is me on it now. So now, same process. I'm pushing down into it, but before you push down into it, just make sure that that calf muscle is relaxed. Now you can see for me, I'm pretty high up on the actual calf muscle itself. You might be further down. If you've got tight ankles, as in you struggle to hit depth on squat because your heels are lifting off because you lack that, lack that range in the ankles, don't move your foot unsuspectedly, it'll be horrific. Then you'll probably be further down here. You're looking to be further down. Not so much on the Achilles, we don't want to foam roll the tendon, that's just going to feel disgusting. I want you to get down, further down here, okay? But again, this is not new to us. You've been doing it a while, you should know. Okay, so all I'm doing, I'm a bit higher up tonight because, well, I do the mobility work, obviously, multiple times a week. So, like I've said to people, I'll always tell you, 2 minutes each side, spend a bit of time on one problem area in that 2 minutes and try to make an improvement. What is an improvement? Well, if you can put more weight on it than when you started and there's less pain, that's an improvement. If you're just half-arsed, and you'll know exactly right now if you're doing it half-arsed, because you think, this could be worse, but I'm just kind of chilling out here. That's being half-arsed, and that's where you're going to really not get a lot from it. To get the most out of this, you have to genuinely just suck it up. Okay, but try to suck it up in a relaxed state of mind. So I'm still scrubbing it with the side to side, up and down. It looks like I'm not doing much, I am. I'm pushing down more and more and more, getting more weight. Again, when you're ready to, you can get that leg on top, but you might not be able to get the full weight of the leg on, so you might have to just gently relax it in. And the weight of that leg alone just resting on top adds a hell of a lot more pressure. Make sure the calf muscle's still relaxed. Anyway, I'm here, there, and everywhere with my usual chit-chat. So before I went off on that one, I was saying about you spend 2 minutes on each side. So I'm doing the mobility classes multiple times a week, which some people are, good for you. And I'll always tell you, do your 2 minutes on an area, get an improvement, and then bookmark where you were, okay? So that next time you come to it, you can find a new area, work on it, okay? Until you've eventually, over every kind of 2 minute period, worked the entire length of the muscle. So for me, I'm further up the calf muscle because usually I'll be further down, working my way up, up, up. So that's why I'm further up. As you get to know your body more, contract, relax, again I'm talking off topic. As you get to know your body more, you'll start to know exactly on some areas where the problems are and you'll go straight to it, okay? For me, this one was hidden, didn't even know it was there. Okay, so I'm contracting and I'm relaxing. Again, can't really see that. I'm contracting the muscle tight and then I'm relaxing, and that's just helping get further and deeper into the muscle tissue. And then once I'm ready to, sick bags at the ready, you can start lifting the toes up and point them away. And then rotate, okay? If you're sick-minded, start rotating. I'm only kidding, get it done. Okay, it's not the nicest. Now again, identify to yourself, am I really giving this my all, or does this just feel nice? And if it just feels nice, well, it Might as well get the wine and nibbles out. That's all I'm saying. Good. So, last few seconds. And there we have it. So, had we been doing our target areas, then it would be ankles or calves. We would have spent the entire session on there getting quality time. So I've spent 2 minutes on there. I've made an improvement. How do I know? Because I can push a hell of a lot more weight down on that problem area. If the problem area is that tacked down and it is knotted and it's pretty damn needing a lot of work, you're not going to cure the pain in one session. You're not just going to go 2 minutes and that horrific pain is going to be gone. But the end goal is there should be no pain. However, you push your body hard on a daily basis, then it's an ongoing process, okay? It never really ends. So we've done the mobility work, okay? We've broken up, we've done the myofascial release work, trying to break up that tissue and free up a bit of slack. Now I'm going on to the flexibility side of things. So you can see my bench, I've got my bench here. You can use a wall. In fact, I encourage you to use a wall. Now let's get this one right, it's simple. If you know what you're doing, go into it now. It's the ankle stretch, it's the classic ankle stretch. People get this really wrong because they're lazy. They're at home, they can't be arsed putting on a pair of trainers, okay? Or you can't be arsed going and finding the best wall. You need something that when you put your foot up against the wall, you push in as hard as you can and that foot is not going to slide. If you've got nice freshly painted skirting boards and you're in your socks or bare feet, unless your feet are scabby, okay, and all sweaty and sticky, okay, and they stick to that wall, absolutely disgusting, okay, they're just going to slide off. Now for those of you with tight ankles, I want you to lean back, okay? In fact, even if you don't, I want you to lean back far enough so that you can get the foot far enough up a wall to get the ball of the foot on that wall, okay? Now I say wall, that's because we're at home, most of you, that's what you've got. If you've got some other means, like a good solid bench like mine lying about, but can't imagine many people will have one in the living room. Right, okay, so I've got the foot up on the wall, I've got my knee bent, okay, prominent bend in the knee. Then, keeping that bend in the knee, I'm going to just shift my body closer to the wall to increase tension, okay? By keeping that slight bend in the knee, I'm going to be targeting down towards my ankles. Now, I'll always target the ankles over targeting the calf muscles themselves. If you want to target the calf muscles further up your leg, lock the knee out. In fact, I encourage you, give it a go, feel that. Yep, happy days, but then push the knee forward again. Because for most people, that ankle mobility is far needed, okay? Far more needed than just stretching out the calves. So we get real tight around that joint. So it's a very isolated stretch, okay? You're gonna feel it down Achilles area, ankle joint area, heel area, if you like. So I'm pushing forward. Now with any stretch, the start position and the end position does not stay the same, okay? I'm trying to develop my flexibility, so therefore, again, you can't see it because it's a slow process, but I'm continually putting more and more pressure on this, pushing the knee forward more and more, trying to increase the tension on that relaxed ankle joint, okay, and all the muscles around it. So I'm taking it further and further and further. So now I feel that I need to shift forward a wee bit more to get more weight down on it. And then I continue the process, pushing. Of course, we're being sensible, okay? I don't want you to start ripping muscle tissue and tendons out, but that's common sense. Push it hard, work it hard, get something from it because it's only a 2-minute stretch. So please, when you're doing your mobility work and your flexibility work, 2 minutes is kind of the golden time. It's a happy medium, okay? I'm not asking a lot, you're not asking a lot of yourself in your busy schedule if you're taking 2 minutes out your day. 4 minutes really, because you know, for most of them it's unilateral. Okay, so we've got 2 legs, 2 limbs, most of us. So that's a case of 2 minutes each side. So for those of you with tight ankles, this is just the mini little sequence you need to do. Do a bit of foam rolling work, 2 minutes each side, stretch it out for 2 minutes each side. I want you to relax there. Okay, walk around, as in get the blood back into that joint. It might feel pretty horrible, but get it back in and then change. So, please, if it's uncomfortable, don't fart about. So now I've got into this side. Before I commit to it, I'm going to make sure that my ankle, my foot is wedged, it's not going to go anywhere, okay? Because I always see people on live farting about, and you know what I mean by farting about, okay? I see them holding an ankle stretch, and then they're kind of looking about along the kind of cove and going, bloody hell, there's a cobweb up there, right? And then you see them, they lose the chain of thought, and it's very easy to do, so that's why people turn up to mobility, flexibility because they think it's relaxed. It's far from it. We should constantly be focusing on what we're doing, trying to take this further, trying not to be distracted, concentrate, okay? So again, those of you with tight ankles, this is all you need to do. Bit of foam rolling, bit of stretching, add that into your day, and before you know it, the squat depth is going to increase significantly. And you can hold me to that, okay? You can hold me to that. Such a simple thing to do to make your squats far superior. For those of you who can barely bend your knees and you just go forward and push your hips back, this is what we need, okay? You need to feed a bit of love back into these bodies that we, like I say, repeatedly we take from. Okay, if you just keep taking, something's going to give. So again, I'm going to shift a wee bit closer, put a bit more tension on there. Pushing my knee forward, okay? I want you to always think about pushing that knee forward. So this is the ankles we're doing, okay? And the calves. And that there, see, to be honest, everybody needs a bit of this in their life. Everybody. So I want you to relax slowly out of that. Okay, so we're done with that. So we're going to take it back to the live. People, don't all shout out at once. I want a target here. Victoria, I know you gave me 10, but we'll do one at a time. So try to do it systematically, okay? So rather than go from ankle to neck, if there's someone with something in between. So don't worry, you'll all get a shot, unless of course this starts to get to about midnight, in which case I'm going to have to get a new memory card. But try to think systematically. So if someone's got something hips and below, now's the time. If it's hips and above, don't worry, you'll get your time, rest assured. Okay, try not to get too, oh! Right, so someone, anyone, in fact, multiple people fire out and I'll choose whatever one I don't know the answer to. Just sing it out because there's quite a few of you and I can see hands. Quads. Quads. Get your foam rollers out. This is definitely possibly one that you're gonna need your wee sick bag at the ready, okay? So quads, muscles up the front of your thigh, that's all you need to know, okay? That's as much knowledge as you need. Now what I want you to do is lie down flat and I want you to start at the crease of the hip here, okay? Crease of the hip. So my foam roller's pink, you can see where it is, okay? That's why I chose the colour. Nothing to do with the fact that I like pink, just that it contrasts against the floor of my clothes, because I've got no pink clothes. So you can see where my foam roller is. So I'm starting at the crease of the hips. This, everybody, is what most people do when they get a foam roller. Watching. Oh, that feels nice. Oh, aye, horrible, okay? Don't be that person. Get back up on at the crease of the hips. All I want you to do is work side to side against the grain of the muscle tissue until you hit a problem spot. When I say a problem spot, you'll know when you hit a problem spot. As soon as you hit an area of pain. So now I'm starting to creep on to an area of pain for me. So what do I do? Do I stop there? No. I'm going to keep going down a wee bit further just to make sure that that is the worst part of it. Okay, so there we go. I found a problem spot. So I'm going to move my bench. Hit the road. Otherwise I'll be off shot. So I found my problem area. Pain, discomfort, it's actually pretty disgusting. So if you look at the position I'm in just now, I am not relaxed, my quad's tensed. So therefore, I need to get myself set up in a way where, there we go, I've got that foot, oh jeez, oh man. Quads, what sick-minded person picked these? Okay, so your quads, big, powerful muscle groups, again, used and abused daily. So now I've found that problem spot. Think back to the calves, everybody. What did we do? We went up and down. We went side to side, okay, on the problem area. Remember, don't start going off of it. So it's very isolated, very minimal side to side movements up and down. Now, what you have to be aware of is that you might be in a different position to me, okay? I'm pretty much on the mid to outer edge of my quads, so therefore I'm up almost in an elbow plank position, but I'm trying to be in a relaxed position here. What you need to watch you don't do, everyone, is start to put that spine, that lower back, into some form of overextension because you're doing this. You see the problem there, okay? Because you're going to end up hurting yourself. So get yourself in as relaxed a position as you can. Now, it's not always going to be the most chilled position, okay? I won't lie to you. My arms have got a lot of weight on them here because I'm just slowly starting to introduce more and more weight onto this foam roller. Scrubbing. We call this scrubbing. Side to side, up and down, just working against the grain of the muscle tissue, trying to break it up. So the quads. Quads are an easy one to contract and relax. So I want you to do just that now. Contract, relax. How do you do it? Push the knee. Push your knee back, lock the knee out. Okay, lock the knee out and that's how you'll be able to easily contract the quads. Now when you're contracting and relaxing, all the smashing and flossing technique, okay, just make sure that you don't move off of the problem area, okay? You might think, God, this is feeling good, but when actual facts happen, when you're contracting and relaxing, okay, you've rolled off your problem area. So I'm doing a combination of trying to load more and more weight onto these quads, onto this foam roller on this problem spot I'm on. And now, smash and floss on this one's a simple one. Make sure your lower back is not overextended, and then all I do, stay relaxed, keep the quads relaxed, and then all I want you to do is, okay, try to keep a straight face. So this is where everyone kind of deals with pain in their own way. Okay, some people, like myself, might have a wee ha 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 ha. Other people, you might be at home right now, floods of tears running down your face, having a right ooh. Okay, we all deal with it in our own ways. But try not to screw your face up like this. Don't be doing because that's not you relaxed, everybody, okay? So, some people might be like, ha 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 ha, this is so sore, ha ha ha. Other people might have a wee kind of teary. Whatever works for you, everybody. Sometimes you can't choose, okay? But it's not nice, that's the point. Okay, so I'm going to change. Before I do, I'm going to stand up just to let the blood regulate. Woo! Okay, because, you know, like I say to you every morning when we do this stuff, if you've ever find yourself in a survival situation where you're starting to go down with hypothermia, forget a survival tin and all that nonsense. Just get yourself a lacrosse ball and stick it into your quads or your glutes, okay, and you'll soon be breaking a sweat, that I can assure you. So I'm going straight on now. I know where I'm going with my quads. So all I'm saying is if you're not sure, because you've not done them before or for a while, start at the crease of the hips, work your way down. But I know for me personally, right bang on the mid quad is where I'll usually find a lot of horrible tied up tissue. So there I'm on one already. So it's the usual process of you just now trying to relax, relax, relax as much weight on into it. Now, other key areas of pain and discomfort you'll find when dealing with the quads is down towards the kneecap. Okay, so just above the kneecap, a lot of runners, etc., you'll find a lot of horrific pain, different type of feeling pain, just above the kneecap. Why am I not going there? Well, same as I said before with the calves. Okay, I do the mobility work on a not a daily basis, but quite often with all these classes. So that's the area I always start on and work my way up. So I've just bookmarked, okay? I'm on the mid quad because that's my bookmark from last time I'd done the quads. And that's how I want you to think about it, okay? If I went down to the bottom of the knees right now, yep, there would still be pain and discomfort there, but I want to spread the love out to the rest of my quads as well. So I'm contracting and relaxing, continually trying to get more weight on and constantly scrubbing, okay, side to side, up and down on the problem area. I can't say it enough, on the problem area. And then finally, once you've spent a bit of time on there, you feel that, yep, okay, I can deal with this pain now a bit more, I've got a good bit of weight on, you can start the smash and floss. Okay, now with the smash and floss, so I'm lifting my foot up. Now you can see I'm kind of folding the, well, you probably can't see, but I'm in a bit of a weird angle. Okay, but that is just because that's the area in which I'm working on. So there's no right or wrong here. You don't have to be looking at me going, oh, he's leaning off to that side. Okay, you're on your problem area, that's individual to you. Okay, there's no right or wrong. You can lift that leg up. You can even go side to side once that leg's lifted up. Okay, the idea is you're just trying to explore that area and get stuck in deep to the muscle tissue, trying to break it up any way you can. So have a real, get on the top of that now, push the weight down, and improvements. We should have an improvement, as in I can really get on there now with a lot of weight, side to side, up and down, and I can tolerate it, okay? Right, next up everyone. We're going to throw yourself into the classic quad stretch. Now this is body weight only. You can do different variations with resistance bands to make it more effective, but that's potentially going to go wrong when I start seeing people hooking resistance bands around their dining room table. So all I want you to do is hold on to something for this one. So if you have to move off screen, that's fine. And all I want you to do is grab a hold of the laces, if you've got trainers on, pull the knees together, straighten yourself up, as in square up the hips, and then I want you to push the hips through without overextending that back. Okay, do not overextend the back. So if you have to go off screen now, now's the time to do it. This is probably, and I say it every time we do it, this and the hip flexor stretch that is, these are the ones you have to really concentrate on. It's so easy to hold this stretch, make it feel like it's getting a nice wee stretch, and then just let your mind wander off. Focus on trying to add continual stretch. You get the point, okay? Trying to increase the stretch is what I'm saying, continuously. We do that, we keep the knees together, I push the hips forwards. How do I lock my hips out, okay? You're right, okay? You push the glutes, squeeze the glutes, absolutely. Squeeze the butt, just like we do a kettlebell swing at the top of a glute bridge. Okay, so I want you to squeeze through with that butt, squeeze the glutes, okay, and you should feel a nice stretch running up the quads. Now, depending how tight they are, this might feel quite nice, or it might feel pretty damn horrific if they're that tight. So quads, that's the quads done after this. So again, please, with this stretch, focus on the task at hand, don't let your mind wander, and you're trying to take it further and further and further. Knees together, push the hips and pull that foot in towards the butt. Standing up tall, but not to the point where you're overextending the back. Okay, so push through really hard, last 10 seconds, squeeze that butt through. You're at maximum stretch now. Hoo, 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 hoo. Good. And relax. Okay, change sides. My word, it's boiling. So I'm gonna change sides. I'm gonna face you so you can hear me. Holding onto the laces or where the laces would be. Point being is we don't hold onto the toes. Knees together first, okay? Straighten yourself up without overextending the back and then push through with those hips. And as soon as you push through with those hips, you're going to feel it in the quads. Now again, I'm just going to lean against something. Doesn't mean to say you don't have the balance to do it, you do. But if you're balancing, it just means you've got something else to think about, okay? And if you're thinking about balancing and you start to lose your balance a little bit, you're going to lose that quality of stretch, okay? Because remember, we don't want to be easing in and out. It's a constant, taking it further, further and further throughout the 2 minutes. Okay, so make sure you don't do that for any of the flexibility work, because people do, you get distracted. Okay, you're holding it for 30 seconds, your mind wanders, you ease off a bit. So again, you push forward more. Knees together, okay, or as close together as you can. That's priority one. Okay, so I'm seeing a few folk with their knees nearly up at their back like this. Push through, get the knees together, bend, push through with the hips. So that's us hitting up the quads, we've hit up the ankles, big muscle groups. Lower body that get used and abused. Let's have a think about what we're doing next. Don't all shout at once. Last 10 seconds, push, 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 push through with those quads. Okay, push through with those hips, should I say. And relax. Walk around, get a drink of water if you need one, and just try to unwind your head a wee bit. Okay, so, okay, next up, what we're having. In the vicinity of, just fire it at me. I'm not going to nominate anyone, so just fire them out and I'll pick the... Hips and back. Right, okay. Hips and back, any takers within that area? Hips and back, any more? We're happy? Right, let's go lower back then. Right, let's go lower back. Now before you, if you're familiar with it, get going, get stuck into it. Now you're going to need a chair. I want you to grab a chair, everyone, or a bench, or a coffee table, something that looks a little bit like my bench. You're going to raise your feet up on that. Sofa will work to some degree. Now, we're doing the lower back. Let's get this right. So, lower back, you'll feel it when you put the ball in there, when you go onto the ball, you'll be able to roll around. I want you to get your hand behind you when you're lying on the ball. Move the ball around and identify all these landmarks that you know I'm talking about. So when I'm on the ball, as in when I'm lying down in a second, I want you to start on what quadriceps lumboris, okay? These big QL muscles, you're gonna feel them, you probably feel them already. The big thick muscles that run either side of your spine, okay? These are the ones that most people pull out when they pull their back out, okay? These are the ones that go real tense. Now, if they are that tied up tight, when you're lying on this ball, you might be thinking, God, it feels like bone because they're that hard. That's where you need to focus on trying to relax into it and try to imagine this ball is just sinking and the muscle tissue's wrapping around it. So I'm starting off to the side of my spine. I don't want to be on the spine, okay? And I don't want to go onto the pelvis, below the pelvis. So it's a fine line. You'll feel it, that big meaty muscle group there, the QL muscles. And then I want you, if you're not getting much around there, the area that we're working along is along the crest of the pelvis. So if you imagine the pelvis, we're running along the top of the bone, okay? Not underneath, because that's us now getting into the high glutes. Up on top, okay? That's all I need to say, so let's go. So when I say run along that area, I don't mean I want you rolling along back and forward. You start where I showed you at the side of the spine. If you're getting problems there, as in there's pain and discomfort in there, that's going to be your target area for 2 minutes, okay? If you're not feeling much in there, even after rolling and about and kind of wriggling back and forward, side to side in the area, then you move out a little bit more until you find it, okay? So I want you working that upper crest of the pelvis. Now you'll feel the pelvis because when you lie on here, okay, you'll start to identify it. So I've got my feet raised and I'm just going to, now you can see I'm putting the hand, rather than, here's a top tip, okay, rather than you trying to roll about and find the spot, okay, and end up in all sorts of weird positions, just get your hand under there, move the ball manually, okay? So I want you to just shift it as close to the spine as you can without being on the spine, okay? And then you'll feel your pelvis, okay? You'll feel the pelvis, because when you roll on the bone, it'll just not feel nice. So the pelvis should be, let me think about this one. Above. The ball should be above the pelvis, okay? So if you roll this way, you should roll onto the pelvis. We don't want to roll onto the pelvis, I just want to be at the top of it. So this is my starting area, those big thick QL muscles. So now, for most people, like I say, side to side ever so slightly, side to side, up and down. What's that doing, okay? Imagine that's somebody's elbow. It's just helping get in there deeper and deeper, okay? So with those big QL muscles, mine especially, mine are tight, okay? Mine are pretty damn tight. You do a lot of work with your back, they'll probably find they are pretty tight. So I needed to spend a good 10 seconds there just doing a little bit of scrubbing, as in side to side, up and down, to really let that ball sink into that area, okay? So now I'm imagining that the muscle tissue is now wrapping around and that ball sinking into that area. I'm staying relaxed. And then from here, to get more weight on it, you can bring your knees a wee bit closer to you, okay? And that's what I mean, you've got to play around with the position. Now, I want you to keep a little bit of tension on your core, because what we don't want is that lower back, because if lower back's now elevated, okay? You're lying there, think about it, your lower back's elevated. What I don't want you to do is start overextending your spine, okay? So don't start extending the spine around the ball. We still want to keep that spine nice and neutral. Now, if you're just lying there because it feels nice, you know what I'm going to say. Get stuck into it and start working it. So side to side, scrubbing it. And this is where all the same rules apply as to what we've just done in the quads and what we've just done in the calves. Except now, it's a very isolated area. So this is why we use the ball. Okay, we never want to use the foam roller on that exposed part of our lumbar spine, okay, where it goes below the rib cage. And we've got no rib cage supporting it. We don't want to get the foam roller out because that'll put a lot of strain on, plus it'll feel disgusting. So the ball's getting really stuck in there, it's very isolated. Explore around, side to side. If there's pain, work on it, side to side, up and down. Okay, contract, relax. It might be a bit harder, but work out how to contract and relax. And the idea is, we've spent a good minute or so on here now, so you should feel that you're getting stuck into that area a lot more. It takes a bit of work, especially those big QL muscles. Okay, like I said to you, you are going to have to spend a wee bit of time and work just to get down into the nitty gritty of them. How do we smash and floss on this one? Well, it really depends on your setup at home just now. Because my bench is what it is, okay, I'm going to just try and just twist myself around a wee bit. And all I'm going to do now to smash and floss is pull that knee up. And again, you don't need to start moving it around. I pulled the knee up, which has got more weight on there, so I'm going to utilise that for a second. Side to side, up and down. But then I can straighten it. I can pull it back in. I can move it out to the side. Okay, now remember, if it doesn't feel like it's working for you, don't do it. If it feels like all of a sudden, oh man, I'm pain-free, just make sure you've not rolled off of the problem area that you're working on, okay? So, last few seconds, everyone. It's just simple. trying to relax and I'm trying to use that ball to break up that muscle tissue, okay? And this is where everybody's different. Relax there. So for me, I'm just using me as a comparison. Like I say, I was on there. You can feel that big solid muscle group running up here. I was on there, took a bit of work, took a bit of time for that to really relax and really feel like the ball was getting stuck into it. If you're getting nothing around there, that doesn't mean it's wrong. Just work along that crest of the pelvis. I guarantee you, if you don't get anything in there, you'll probably find something up here just on the outer hip. So everybody's different. So I'm simple. I'm not simple. This is simple. I'm going to change sides. So we're elevating the feet because it lets us get more weight down onto that area. Okay, and it also gives us a chance to keep that lower back nice and neutral. So you can see I've got my hands underneath, and rather than roll my body around in stupid positions, I lie on the ball. Right, that feels, it doesn't feel nice, but it doesn't feel that bad. Move it off, oh jeez. So that's what we're trying to do, okay. So the oh geez bit, that's no nice, okay. I've found a bit of pain, so I'm not just going to rely on the fact that because there's pain, that's where I should go. I'm going to go a wee bit more along, and right enough, it gets worse, okay. So I'm not going to take my word for it, I'm going to go again. Does it get worse? No, it's not quite as bad, so I'm going to move back a wee bit. Okay, in there, that's a problem area. So that's what I'm going to work on now. So I've not got all my weight on this ball. So now the process begins. Relaxing, side to side, scrubbing, up, down, scrubbing. Okay, that's scrubbing action, side to side, up and down. That's us just trying to break it up further and also trying to get in deeper, okay, to where the problem area truly is. Now be careful. Make sure you're not on the spine. I can't say it enough, but if you're foam rolling your spine and it feels good to you, then you're no human anyway. If you roll onto the bone, you'll feel it, and it's not a very nice sensation. Please, I can't emphasize it enough. Do not just lie there, stuck there in the one position thinking, oh, this feels all right, this. Okay? You have to be proactive. Okay, work the area that we're on. We're only asking 2 minutes of you, and most people do have tight lower backs to some degree. Okay, so let's talk about that now. We need to talk about something, and I've got plenty to say, it turns out. Okay, so your lower back, let's say you pull your lower back out. What's your first protocol? Stretching. Okay, so you think, oh, I need to stretch out my lower back. So you stretch out your lower back. Yep, fair one, good enough, happy days. Bit more educated, you think, yeah, well, I've been doing all those mobility classes again. I'll get that foam roller and that lacrosse ball. What was that lower back one he done? I can't remember. I know, I'll go on, I'll search for it, I'll load it up and I'll do it, okay? Or you don't bother your arse with that and you think, yep, you know what, I'll just get the lacrosse ball out and stick it in there. Good work, good for you. Okay, so that's all good and well, happy days. But the point being is, a lot of the time, people just work on the problem area itself, okay? Sure thing, you've hurt that area, you've got an niggle, you've got a pain, so chances are that area is the one that's needing more love than any other. However, what people fail to do is work around that area, okay? So if you've pulled out your lower back, it doesn't mean to say that it's just your back that was tight. Chances are the glutes are all jammed up, okay? And then go a wee bit further up, okay? Go up into your upper back, go round to the sides, go into your obliques. Chances are they're all tight as well, and they all work together. So if your lower back's tight, okay, it's going to be pulling on the glutes are going to be tight and vice versa. Upstream, downstream. So by doing this, what we're doing now, we're helping feed a bit more slack into the muscle, okay? So if your glutes are tight and sore, go up, do the lower back. Go down, do the hamstrings. If your lower back's tight, do the lower back, go down, do the glutes, go up, do the upper back, go to the side, do the obliques, okay? Work that area, feed some goodness into that area rather than just working the area. Okay, good, right, okay, I've spent time on there. Happy days. Whoa, there we go. Okay, so, resistance bands. You're gonna need your resistance band now, everyone. If you don't have one, a towel will do, as in it will do, but it's probably not the best thing you could possibly use. So, resistance band. Get yourself set up for what at first glance will appear like the hamstring stretch. I'll give you a few seconds because no doubt, I'm not even going to look, but no doubt on live, there'll be key individuals going, oh, my resistance band, lift them and whatever, tumble dryer. Right, okay, so, still faffing going on, geez, so I'll keep talking. So, it's the exact same principles of the hamstring stretch, okay? We're gonna get into the hamstring stretch first, but please watch me now, okay? I'm gonna show you from the side and very quickly show you from the front, 2 different angles, so that you can see exactly what's going on here, okay? I'm getting my resistance band, I'm hooking it around the ball of my foot, I'm gonna lie back, I'm gonna keep the knee locked out. Everything just looks like a classic hamstring stretch so far, doesn't it? Yes, however, I've got my right leg, I'm gonna take it over, keeping it completely locked out, keeping it straight, move it as high as I can while keeping it locked out. And then I'm going to twist my body and my head completely away from it, okay? And then I'm going to relax. Now from a different angle, okay, because this one might help for you, is across, down. Now you can see the leg, it's locked out, and then I'm simply trying to twist over. Now with this resistance band, you're holding it with one hand, but I want you to get as far up it as you can and pull it as much as you can so that when you twist, you're feeling it. You're going to feel it anywhere along here, into the hips, into the glutes, the obliques, the core, the QL muscles that we've just spent time on, okay? And then up into the shoulder, chest, to some degree the arms as well. So this one we're getting a lot from. If you've pulled out your lower back or your lower back's tight, it's a damn good stretch. So again, if you're not sure, I'll talk you through it. So I'm back, I'm getting plenty of tension on my band, I'm pulling it down. Then I'm putting the leg across the body. Now before you twist that body away, get the leg as high as you can, everyone. Pin it to the floor. I've got that sensation stretching along my leg. It's very nasty, okay, it's very nasty, but I've learned from all the mobility and flexibility classes that I'm doing that nasty sometimes isn't a bad thing, okay? In fact, in this instance, it's a damn good thing. It doesn't feel nice, a lot of discomfort, okay? But usually with mobility, that equates to goodness, okay? So I'm relaxing. If you're in this position, it's feeling pretty nasty, you need to think about relaxing. So this leg that's running across my body, don't have it tense, make sure your knee is locked out. If it's too much, take a bit of tension out of the resistance band. If it's feeling all right, pull the resistance band more, okay? And just all you're trying to do is get yourself in a relaxed state where you just feel like gravity's just letting you sink into the ground. So this is one of those stretches, okay, or mobility movements, drills if you like, where we're actually getting a lot from it, okay? We're getting the lower back, glutes, hips, hamstrings to some degree, calves to some degree. It just depends how tight you are, okay? And you're going to feel it in the chest and shoulders if you're trying to pin it. So if you are tight in the chest and shoulders and that thoracic spine, as you try to twist, you'll be like, ah! Okay, if that's the case, so be it. You take it to the point it's uncomfortable, you hold it there and try to find a relaxed state within it. And then all I'm going to do now is change legs. So don't be lazy, get back up, okay? Get it set up properly. Don't do the half-assedness of just simply changing legs mid-air. So change it, get it around the ball of the foot, okay? And then all I'm doing, just like before, I'm going to pull that resistance band, come back, find that relaxed state across the body, across the body, across the body. Oh dear. Before I twist away, I'm going to make sure everything here is set up right. My knee's locked out, isn't it? Yep, it is. All the muscles running down my leg, are they relaxed? Not quite. Oh, right, now they are. Imagine them sinking into the ground. Feeling my hips. For me personally, in and around the hip area and running along the hamstrings, it feels nasty. So it's hard to relax those muscles, but I'm going to. And then I'm twisting away. Remember, we find that relaxed state. It's quite hard to do. If you're feeling this pretty uncomfortable, make it as uncomfortable as you can bear. But remember, the end goal is to achieve that nice relaxed state. Focus on your breathing. So we've done what? We've done the ankles, calf area. We've done the quads. We've done the lower back. You know what we should do? We should do a mobility marathon, shouldn't we? 24 hours of mobility. I bet even then though, if we're to do 24 hours, we still want to get it all done. Good, and relax. Right, okay, so obviously, can't please everybody in the sense that we can't possibly do everything. It's impossible to do the full body, otherwise it's just going to go on and on and on forever. So, one thing you will learn before we move on to the final area, each area feels a little bit differently depending on foam rolling. Okay, you might be using the foam roller or you might be using the lacrosse ball, but all the same principles and techniques apply. So if you do find yourself with problem areas, you know how to address them, okay? Because a lot of the time people start to feel niggles and pains. They say it to me, they tell me about it, and I tell them, did you do a bit of foam rolling work on it? Did you do a bit of stretch? Oh, I didn't even think of that, okay? Crazy, come on, sort yourself out. So, last one, okay? I'm gonna take one more. Try to be a bit more niche rather than just say, oh, back. You know, give me an area. Give me an area within that back neck. And don't go and say back now, give me something better. Someone, anyone. Really? Can't I get folk to shut up at the best of times, and then when you want them to talk, no one speaks. Come on. Anyone, don't be shy. Neck, thank you, because I've got a pounding headache today, and that was very nice of you. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to get, where's my lacrosse ball? It's rolling away. Right, neck. So as always, target mobility class, we could do an hour on the neck, okay? We've all got these big heads that we're carrying about all day. Speak for myself, I know. We don't realise the weight of your head, okay? It's pretty heavy, take my word for it. So your head's, mine certainly is. So we've got a lot of strain when we're doing exercise especially. Think about it. You're doing the likes of burpees and stuff. You're throwing your head around. That's a lot of strain on the neck. So there's a few things we can do. You can do, the best one I would say to do for tonight would be what I would call the trap scrub. So I'm going to move my hood out of the way. So for those of you, maybe with a wee bit of tension in the shoulders and neck, and you know that way where you're like, oh, okay, that's the one for you. We could do the front, we could do the sides, but this is the one I wanted to show you. So you've got an area to work on. I want you to work, again, we've got the spine here. Most of us should have one. It's running up here, right into the cranium. I want you to come to the side, and you'll feel it. You'll feel a little pocket, okay, of muscle tissue. And I want you to work from here, down, along, until just outside here, okay? Just outside the wing of the shoulder. So this is our target area, the upper traps into the neck. Now the reason I'm telling you to work on that area is you find a problem area within that area. If you're familiar with it, you'll know exactly where your problem areas are. Mine, and for a lot of people, you'll find a lot of problem areas up in the upper trapezius muscles, okay? Just always, all we need to do, you don't need to elevate your feet, okay? All I want you to do is just simply lie on the ball, up at the shoulders, up at the neck, or if you're not sure again, start where I told you, start up here. Okay, can you see that ball, can you? Oh yeah, you can. So you can see the balls there, starting there, just below the skull, and I'm going to work down. But again, rather than you rolling about like a crazy person, just move it with a hand, push down, right, nothing there, nothing there. So all I want you to do is find a problem area. For me, again, upper trapezius, okay, so you can see what it is on me, just at the top of the shoulder. I always get a lot of really nasty kind of real, to be honest with you, it's a real nice but very horrendous pain at the same time. Now that's for me, okay, because I know by now, because I've been doing it often enough, and I can feel that. Okay, so what do? Oh my word. It's nasty. So all I'm doing is I'm just simply lying on the ball, side to side, finding the true problem area, okay? Whoa, there it is, it's not nice. So on this area, we've got quite a lot of muscle tissue, unless of course you're still on the actual neck, and if you are on the neck, that's fine, okay? If you're on the upper trapezius, you'll definitely find, oh. Think about it now, okay? We've done enough target areas that you should know. It's just a different area. Still all the same techniques apply. Scrub it, okay? Side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down. Trying to stay in a relaxed state.